Am I? There we go.
What's that?
My screen was weird.
Oh, well, we're going now.
Anyway,
Yeah. All right. So we are back for Do That But Better. I am Zach here with my brother Eric. Eric, how have you been?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Yeah.
You look like you've got like a couple more wrinkles. I don't
One
know.
wrinkle and a zit.
Yeah,
And a
what
zit.
changed?
That came with age. Yes.
Yeah.
So I think once you hit 40, you get more acne or something like that. I think there's something to that. But yeah. Yeah. So I had a good birthday. It was pretty chill. Got the big 4-0.
Yep.
Not middle age. I'm not even at the top. I'm only towards the top of the hill because I'm living till at least 120. So I mean, I figure I still got a ways to go.
Yeah. No doubt.
Yeah. So Eric, over the weekend, I was talking to Shane. He was doing something, I forgot what it was, but I had told him, I was like, "Did you know that you are an example?" And he was like, to who? And I was like, well, to Liesel, who is younger than him, right? But also, um, we had a nice discussion about how it doesn't matter who you are, somebody's watching you,
Hmm.
right? And you are inspiring people, no matter what you're doing, right? And actually, we just had a group of people that did a 5 mile race. So they had never ran before, especially not that long, and they went out and did a 5 miler. And it made me think of when you're out on a race and you see somebody stop, right? Because a lot of people, it's like, hey, my only thing that I want to do is not stop. But when you
Hmm.
have that person who stops, you stop on the or it at least gives you that okay, right?
Right.
And on the other hand, just like in a CrossFit gym, when everybody is still going, it's so much easier to keep going. And you know, it sort of brings up what we were going to talk about today is the daily habits of fit people, right? And so often, what we do, it's a habit of our it's a like or a product of our environment. It is a habit, but success leaves clues. And when we are looking at fitness, and especially long-term fitness, so long-term health, looking at um, a few characteristics of what makes people fit is going to help us determine what we should be doing to be fit.
Hmm. Yeah, and I feel like a lot of times we look at people who we understand to be fit and healthy,
Mm-hmm.
and instead of looking at like multiple healthy people and finding the overlap, we look at one healthy person and look at the most bizarre. Oh, they only eat organ meat and they only eat it raw.
Yeah,
That must be what I have to do.
and they only do burpee backflips.
Yep.
like Juji Mufu.
Yeah.
Say,
Oh,
oh, that's what you need to do. You need to
yep.
set your
You have to do
barbell on fire.
overhead splits.
Yeah. Now I just saw a clue from you. What is going on with your hands right now?
Covered in paint.
All right.
Yep.
What
I
are
was
you painting?
well, I was helping someone paint a random shelf thing.
Hmm.
It was a volunteer who was elderly.
All right.
So it
Did
was
you try?
like great to get her involved. Um,
Yeah. Are you
and
finger
she
painting?
also just about, yeah. I think I'm got mostly dirty from cleaning out off the brushes.
Oh.
But to get there and back,
Hmm.
it's about a half mile. I could have driven, which seems like a waste
Hmm.
because I can basically see it right over there. So I walked.
Yeah.
And then on my way back, actually, she stopped and was like, "Do you want to ride?" was like, no, I'm walking. Even though I'll
Yeah.
be a few minutes late to do that, but better.
Well, I'll tell you what, thinking back to grade school, right? There were the Rimples. The Rimples walked absolutely everywhere. And it
Yep.
didn't matter what the weather was, it didn't matter how cold it was. And if you asked them, do you want to ride? It was like, I'm all right. It was just part of their day.
Hmm.
And uh, and I feel like in our world, it's sort of crazy. Like now, I live straight across the street from a high school. It's literally 2 blocks, right? And I see some of the kids in the neighborhood driving there,
Yep.
and it's like it will literally take you just as long to hop in the car, start it up, and you might have to make the half block loop or whatever. And it's like you just you drove about like 3 minutes of walking.
Yep.
And it's sort of insane that that is it's a very common thing. And actually, I'll do similar things. There will be things where it's like, man, it's literally only a few minutes away, but it's going to be like more beneficial to drive.
Yep.
And yeah, that's a tough thing to get out of the habit of. So if we're looking at fitness, um, what would you say are uh, let's 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 set up some pillars. All right. What would you say would be the pillars of fitness for you?
Well, so one, I think to put it broadly, is activity
Hmm.
because it's super easy to be sedentary. Um, so I think generally, if I say that, people are thinking a workout, like start working out, do
Yeah.
1 hour of whatever. Um, but it's way bigger than that because 23 hours of sitting on the couch or in a chair
Hmm.
is not canceled out by 1 hour of warm up and then do a workout and then maybe stretch, which everyone skips and doesn't do.
and
So
everybody
really, we're
leaves
talking about
sauces
like,
to warm up. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Uh, so really, we're talking about like throughout your day, adding activity like walking when it's a short trip and you can make it, right?
Hmm.
So a lot of people, especially now with all the like smart watches and whatnot, it's 10,000 steps is
Right.
what people are looking at. And maybe just as like the long-term goal of can you get to that point consistently?
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't that long ago that whether it was like commuting, whatever it was, that it was pretty normal to have at least some activity. You know,
Hmm.
you even in the workplace, I would say that there was a lot more moving around, but computers and everything else has really just got us to not have to move much at all. Even if it's like going to get your calculator, it's like, no, it's all on your phone. Everything is in one spot and you never have to move. You going to print something, you know,
Yep.
you it's like, oh my goodness, I don't have to move anything anytime forever.
Yeah. Or like dropping off paperwork or going to pick up paperwork, just like around your floor in the office,
Hmm.
where now it's if it's all on computers, which makes sense, right? Like if you're trying to increase productivity,
Hmm.
you don't want people to have to get up and move around all the time. But if you want to be healthy, you do need to get up and move around all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. And like you said, it doesn't have to be a workout. Workouts
Hmm.
are great, but I feel like movement is mandatory. Natalie just started something. One of our friends was just over, and they said that their new morning routine is to wake up, get straight dressed, like at least in something, and
Hmm.
walk around the block. So, like a 10-minute walk before you get coffee, before you wash your face, before you do anything. And, just starting that movement starts your day different. And I think that is huge. And it doesn't have to be something crazy, but um, an object in motion stays in motion, right? And Yeah, I thought that that was a great um, great look on that morning routine of
Hmm.
like getting moving.
Yeah. Yeah, and like this is all walking in particular is super easy to start adding in if, like you said, right away in the morning, a short walk. I do that when Conlon wakes up earlier than usual. You know, if it's like before we would usually get up to get the girls lunches and get them ready for school,
Mhm.
grab him and just walk like to the end of the street and back. And it makes such a big difference in your day.
Mhm.
Or, if you have, your lunch hour and you always finish with like 10 minutes extra that you're just sitting there on your phone, just get up and walk. It could be
Yeah,
outside, it could be in the stairwell, whatever. Do a lap around the floor. Um,
you could honestly. I know it's not safe, but you could be looking at your phone while walking,
you
and
could.
and like I always say, safety second. So fitness first, safety second.
When I was working downtown in Chicago, I did almost see a fight start because this teenager was walking, looking at her phone, and this older lady saw her, and you could see she decided she was not going to move and just walked straight into her. And she says, "You lucky you old."
That is awesome.
So do look up every once in a while.
Yeah. But yeah, so practice that. If you really need to be on your phone, do it. But
Yeah.
get moving.
I will
Uh,
say, as a plug for not walking with your phone, is one coach of mine said walking is integration. So, like different projects that you're working on, different things you're trying to learn, um, it's very easy to never have a quiet mind
mm,
right now with phones and Netflix and whatever else. Like you can fill your time so that you are never alone with your thoughts.
mm,
And those 5 or 10 minute walks are an awesome way to silence everything. And that's when your brain starts to make creative connections and you start to have new ideas and solve problems in a new way, and start to understand things better.
mm.
So, if you can, which you can,
Yeah,
go on those walks phone free.
I like that. And actually, those 10-minute walks. So yeah, especially after a meal, they have shown that is almost as effective as some diabetes medications at regulating blood sugar. So
Hmm.
just getting out and moving, and it doesn't have again, it's not exercise, it's just exercise.
It's not a workout.
It's not a workout. But yeah, that's fantastic. And I guess you know people always talk about how those great ideas come in the shower, and yeah, that's that quiet time. Now you're not
Yep.
necessarily moving very much, but yeah, I also like when I'll ride my bikes to the gym. There's times that I'll put my headphones in but not turn them on, and I sort of there's something about when I have my headphones in that it makes me focus, and so sometimes I'll do things like that just with them in, and it
Mm.
lets me like block out even some of the the birds chirping and whatever. But it blocks me out, and man, I'll tell you what, I get some ideas. What I need to do is start writing them down, because then I'm like, all right, that was great. Back to the grind.
You need a mount for your phone so you can just be like boop and then voice memo
Yeah.
as you're writing.
All right.
But do
Go
your
ahead.
headphones block out the sound of semis coming? Because on my walk today, I got two to honk while I was walking.
Oh, that's pretty good.
And that's another benefit of being out on a walk.
I feel like that is like a lost skill. Like kids don't even know to do that often.
I've been teaching.
Yeah, it is. It's super fun to get it. Like when you're on a trip and you get somebody to do that, it's like, yeah, everyone gets excited. It's fantastic.
Yep.
All
Anyway,
right, so first habit is moving daily. So movement's mandatory. Get some 10,000 steps. I don't care how many steps you get, but get something.
Get
All right.
more.
Get more. Yeah. Just move more, stand up, walk around, do whatever you can to, sit on the ground so that you have to get
Hmm.
back up instead of just falling into a chair and then falling back up.
Yep.
Is there such thing as falling back up?
Falling up. Yeah, I don't know.
I think I can fall up. Uh, Another thing is going to be water. Boom. There we go. Thank thank you for being a good example. So it surprises me how many people not only don't drink enough water, but don't drink water in general. And
Yep.
there are people that go for long periods that if and actually there's people that just don't like water. They're like, no, it has to have some flavor, and I can't drink this.
Hmm.
But I mean, for crap's sake, we're made out of water. So
Yeah.
people drink it.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I've said before, it's like it reminds me of, I don't know if people remember this, in the Grapes of Wrath when they're driving across country
I
and they're
promise I don't remember.
okay. They're driving across country in their old beat up truck and it leaks oil. So, and they know like every however many miles they have to go and put in like just enough oil because that's all they have and they can't afford to buy anymore.
Hmm.
So they're just putting in just enough so their engine doesn't explode. And I feel like that's pretty much what most people are doing as far as water goes. Is like
Hmm.
you're not dead,
Yeah.
but you are nowhere near where you want to be. Like all of your cells need water. Most of the reactions and functions in your body have to happen in water. And so if you don't have enough, then things either aren't happening or they're happening really slowly compared to what could be happening. Like so your cells are not rebuilding or regenerating as quickly. All kinds of different minerals and vitamins aren't moving to where you need them as quickly as they could. You're just you are not optimal.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, and so if you're looking at getting enough water, so a good place to start is about half your body weight in ounces. So if you're 100 pounds, getting 50 ounces. If you're 200 pounds, getting what is that? 100. And uh, there's all kinds of bottles out there now to really keep you moving. And I think
Mhm.
that lots of times it's daunting when you start looking at 100 ounces or whatever. But if you start this out, um, getting um, a large share of it done as early as possible. You wake up, you take a pee, and fill it right back up. you know, and
Yep.
I, grabbing a shaker bottle or whatever. And I've actually started to have it. I have it already made every morning, and because I'll tell you what, I think because I chew gum like constantly, I don't I don't necessarily need to drink very much, right? Because like you're
You don't
salivating
feel
or
it.
whatever. Yeah, you don't get that dry mouth and all that kind of stuff. So I think that there's things like that I think that a lot of people do that makes it so that it's very easy to not, and then all we end up doing is drinking things for pleasure, and you're like, all right, I'm getting that pop or whatever,
Yep.
and it is that important to get it in. So start it out, and I'll get, I think, what is it, 28 ounces for like a blender bottle.
Hmm.
So 28 right away, and I'm almost a quarter of the way or a third of the way done, or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
If somebody do the math for me.
But yeah, I'm the same way. I think people have the picture that you need to be sipping all day and keep it with you,
Mhm.
but I am totally a chugger. So
Yeah.
same thing. Like I wake up and I have it right next to the bed, and I just start drinking and finish that bottle, and then usually if there's like a protein shake in the day or a smoothie or whatever, a greens powder, like I know that that's coming. So then that's another whole thing chugged, and then at night, as I'm like whatever doing dishes, cleaning up after dinner,
Hmm.
I drink another one. I'm like, you're pretty good.
Yeah. That was actually one of the ways that I won Natalie over. So when we first met, I asked her for a glass of water. She gave me a big old glass of water, and I downed it all. And it's like, and she basically fell in love right there. So it can also find you a mate.
Allegedly.
Yeah. But yeah, but it will make you feel better. And actually, if you've ever felt sloppy, all right. Uh, so I'll often notice that I've not been drinking water because your body feels a little bit less tight, and that is something that happens when you are not drinking enough water. So yeah, if you want to feel good, I'll say like so just and actually I think that for me chugging it makes me feel like that. But you'll lots of times you'll feel like your skin is almost just like more loose or something like that when you are dehydrated. So
Mhm.
it makes you feel better. It'll make you look better, you know, because yeah, your skin is going to be more hydrated. Like you said, it's going to make your joints flow fluidly, right? You
Yep.
need all that fluid so that your body is moving well. It's like it is like oiling your car and digestion and all that. So start getting some water in. If you have trouble getting your half body weight, get something. So where are you at right now, and how can I make that better? If you're drinking none, let's try 20 ounces, right? And yeah, you can do it throughout the day. You can do it one big gulp, whatever you want.
Yep.
All right, so exercising, we need water, and where would you go from there, Eric?
Oh, honestly, this one should probably be number one, which is sleep. It is. I've said it's the magic pill that everyone's looking for and no one wants to take.
Mm.
Even though everyone will say, "Oh, I wish I could sleep more." Like,
Yeah, what's stopping you?
do do your actions reflect that?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, like are you staying up? What are you staying up doing? What's keeping you from sleeping? Because I think this came up during COVID. I did the one video um, group call
Mhm.
with some members at uh, CrossFit Chicago Heights,
Yeah.
and someone brought that up, sleep, and I was like, so what did I ask? It was something along like what else is filling up that time,
Mhm.
and it was like Netflix. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, this isn't a challenge.
Yeah.
Well, you already know the answer to this.
Yeah. And setting a timer for sleeping. Like everybody can set that timer for getting up.
Yep.
And um, actually, I don't know who I was just talking to, but we were talking about it might have been you. It might have been the other day. But the fact that we are very easily um, very easily like tricked into doing things that other people want, right? So your boss says, be here at this time. You set that alarm and there's no snooze button, right? But if you set an alarm and say, I need to go to bed at this time for my health, it's very easy to go, you know what? I've got a few other things to do. And we consistently put ourselves on the back burner,
Yeah.
and that's for our health. And we go, this is what I need to function really well. And it's very easy to not. And then yeah, you see a show and you're like, oh man, that really looks good. That would really make me feel great, right?
Hmm.
And does it? How does it feel in the morning?
Right. Yeah, and man, sleep goes so deep because I mean, for one thing, just mental clarity, like having a positive mood,
Mm-hmm.
being able to enjoy life. Like I just saw a few weeks ago, Dr. Andy Galpin posted an fMRI of someone's brain while sleeping that they had never done before, and you could see all the fluid flowing in and out.
Mm,
And that it's like, so your brain, like your digestive system, all cleans out. Your whole body really is like detoxing continuously, but your brain does not.
Mm.
It only detoxes while you're sleeping.
Oh, wow.
So all the waste from all the cells in your brain does not get cleaned out unless you sleep.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. So like it's you're just getting gunked up. Like you are not again like not functioning optimally. And then I mean all the impact on your hormones.
Hmm.
You know, if you miss I forget what the numbers exactly are. If you miss maybe 3 hours of sleep like 2 days in a row, you start waking up pre-diabetic
Hmm.
because your insulin and everything is all way off.
Yeah, cortisol
Um,
levels.
yeah,
And
blows
if
everything up.
yeah, if you want to think about belly fat, right? So if we've got
Right.
stress hormones, yeah, belly fat. Here we go.
Yeah. Like one of the simplest things you can do to lose weight is get more sleep.
Yeah. Do you have any kind of night routine?
Yeah. I mean, with kids, that pretty much takes care
So
of it.
so what do you guys do?
So most nights, once the girls are in bed, then it's, clean up and then head up to the bedroom and like brush teeth, get ready for bed. I like to read. We might watch a show,
Mhm.
which because we have kids now and the time I need to fall asleep, 30-minute shows are like the max,
Mm. Yeah.
unless it's a special night. And then I got a book next to the bed. So all the lights, everything goes down to like one lamp
Yeah.
after once the girls are to bed. So it's darker. The phones are on do not disturb because otherwise there's random things. How many whatever email things that you're subscribed to come in at like 4 a.m.
Oh yeah.
and then your phone's just buzzing. That's annoying. Also, covering up lights. So we have a printer in here, and then like the uh, whatever it is, smoke detectors, stuff like that.
Mm.
I know Lisa's toothbrush is an electric toothbrush, and it flashes. So, like covering all of that stuff up seriously makes a big difference.
Do you start your bedtime routine at a certain time?
Um, I don't have a specific time in mind, but it usually does hit at like 9:30 or so.
Mhm.
Or like right then well, so that's like when we're getting into bed and like grabbing a book and everything's
Yeah.
winding down.
Yeah, I'm really bad at the timing, although like, we're within a range and it's like 8:30 to 9:30 and
Hmm.
because I need to get up early.
Right.
And actually all my kids, so Maddie and Francie get up like around um like 4:30 to 5:30. It's and so like Francie has to get to the bus I think at like 6:15 or something like that, 6:30. So she's like got to be up early. But so everyone's got to get up early. But yeah, so we don't have like a specific like all right, here's what we do. But yeah, it's getting your jammies. There's going to be a book. And now for me, I start setting up my morning. And I found that this has been so beneficial for me. Like number one, I can wake up a little bit later so I can gain like even if it's just 10, 15 minutes of sleep by getting a little bit ready. So what I do is I get the coffee ready. So I fill it up. I have my the teapot filled with water. So it's on the stove. All I have to do is turn it on. I have so every morning I have some oatmeal with protein in it, and then I have like my eggs and spinach. So I've got all that ready so that when I walk downstairs, I turn on the um, I turn on the coffee pot and I start cooking. Right. So actually, I started showering at night because it sort of just calms me down, and it
Hmm.
again it saves me that little bit of time. And so yeah, so and then I have my water. So I get my water. I put a little bit of creatine. I actually have some electrolytes, some element,
Hmm.
and I have my water ready, so I can start drinking as soon as I wake up. So it's like water's going. I'm drinking some water. I take my vitamins, and then and breakfast is done in like 10 minutes because it's like
Hmm.
spinach, water, and eggs, and then I can start eating. And this sets me up for the morning, which I think is huge. And then my morning, I have set up like I now make sure that I get my clothes all ready. And I've found that getting dressed before I leave the bedroom, or it's like get dressed in the bathroom, right? Don't do anything until I'm dressed.
Hmm.
And this is I feel like having all these things ready, it helps me sleep better. Not only because um, um, not only because like I have like this little routine, but it's also all the things that I need in the morning are already ready. So I get to
Yeah.
relax. And so now once everything's ready, I get in the usually Natalie reads to the kids, and so I'll sit in the room while they do that. It puts me to sleep, and as soon as they're done, then I can go to sleep. And I'll tell you what, I've been sleeping better. So even just tracking with my sleep tracker, um, I'm I'm more consistent too. And this is huge when you're trying to get better sleep, having sleeping at the same times every day. And so you can actually I use Sleep Cycle, and Sleep Cycle you can set that reminder so that you are so it's like telling you, hey, you got to go to bed, and especially I want to sleep this many hours, then like set it up for that time,
Hmm.
and it'll put you in a routine because your body knows that these are the times that we sleep, these are the times that you wake up, and I've actually been able to wake up slightly before or right with my alarm because I'm going to bed at the same time, or at least roughly, probably within like 20 minutes or so.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, you mentioned taking a shower at night. That is like my secret weapon. If I
Oh yeah.
can't fall asleep, or if I feel like, if especially when I was playing soccer, like indoor soccer was late,
Hmm.
get home at like 10:30 or 11 from a late game, and you're like wound up, a cold shower puts me right to sleep.
Mm,
I would say it feels like when you play out in the snow, like you're out in the cold, and then you come inside to a warm house,
yeah.
and it's just like that's what it feels like. Ice cold shower, and then get into bed, and I'm out right away.
Huh. That's pretty awesome. Yeah.
The other thing, just for building awareness, if people are like, I sleep like crap all the time, I have no idea when I'm going to sleep or waking up. Something I started doing in high school out of necessity, but then realized this is a super powerful thing, is using a timer instead of an alarm.
Mm,
So instead of setting your alarm to go off at this time, you have to say, I want to wake up at that time, and right now it's this time. So I get 1, 2, 3, 4 hours and this many minutes. Oh,
brilliant.
crap. Yeah.
Yeah.
So instead of using your alarm on your phone, use your timer on your phone. And then you're forced to see how much time you have to sleep. And that makes you way more aware of when you need to start going to bed.
That's awesome. That's a great idea. I sort of do that math in my head. I'm always like,
Hmm.
dang it, this is what I get.
Yep.
But yeah,
Yep.
if you really throw it in your face like that, I think that'd be great.
Hmm.
All right, so last thing that like for our pillars, right, is food. And everybody knows that when you look at fit people, they are eating good food, right? It is, I think that it's very easy to say it, but then we go, well, yeah, but, like if it fits your macros and all this, all this stuff, right?
Right.
But this is going to be huge, whether it's for fueling your exercise, whether it's for long-term health, like you're talking about with diabetes, right? This is a type 2 diabetes is a it is a preventable and often, if you catch it early enough, curable disease that we can fix through our food, not exercise, through food.
Yep.
So, what do you do for to start making good decisions when it comes to food?
I think again, it's really just awareness of like paying attention. If you think it is literally true that you are what you eat,
Hmm.
then look at that food and be like, is that what I want to be?
Yeah,
Where do these Skittles go? What do those turn into?
yeah,
Like, how is that helping me be healthier? How's my body using that and incorporating that?
right. I'll tell you what. I was just listening to a report, and they were talking about sugar, and especially with sugar, it's very easy to get in that idea that sugar is okay as long as you're exercising and things like that. Especially when it comes to if it fits your macros. You get high level athletes that are putting dextrose into their workout shakes and things like that, and it works. And you can be lean, right?
Hmm.
But they've shown that high levels of sugar, regardless of calorie intake, is toxic. And so long term, high doses of sugar are going to be affecting you. And they actually did some studies and they found, I think it was with some rowing teams and some other like high level performers who were using a lot of sugars to fuel that long term they had higher cases of diabetes. And so it had nothing to do with them gaining weight. It was metabolically changing them. And
Hmm.
so number one is we have to really make sure that we're keeping sugar out of our life as much as possible. That doesn't mean you can't have a treat. And now actually, even with that word, right? It's like it's a treat, and it's like, oh man, that like we're eating poison, and we're going, hey, this
How
is that
special.
right? How special that I get to have it, and it's like, man, but thinking of it as maybe entertainment or something like that, as opposed to a treat. But it's like, no, this isn't the food that we need, and there are no necessary carbohydrates, right?
Yep.
So there are necessary proteins. So you need your essential branched chain amino acids, right? And like every cell is made of protein. There are also essential fatty acids. So you got your omega 3s, omega 6s. There aren't any um, necessary carbohydrates. So when you go, oh, well, I have to, right? I need
Right.
it for energy. It's like, guess what? Your body can make energy. And it's going to make blood sugar, right, out of anything that you eat, whether it's protein, fat, and stuff like that. It,
Yep.
it so number one is getting to that real food, eating meat, vegetables, nuts and seeds, some fruit, little starch, no sugar, right? And now that's easy to say, but then it's like, all right, how do we do this? We're busy. We are, you've got tons of responsibilities, and we need something fast and we need something good, right?
Yep.
Um, what do you do to make it easy to make better decisions?
So I think a lot of people are thinking, oh, you have to meal plan. You have to have all your meals ready. Um, and I think there is some planning that goes into it, but most of it is shopping.
Hmm.
Like if you only have the option of eating whole foods, then you're going to eat whole foods. So having that shopping list of like these are the things that we have, and when you go to the pantry and you're like bored, and you're like, oh, there's no cookies, there's no chips, there's nothing for me to snack on, then you have to go grab whatever else there is. Now, that could turn into like fast food all the time. So having, a 2 or 3 meals that you know how to cook, that you really enjoy, that you can go to at any time, that's a huge help.
Hmm.
Having that plan to make that stuff easy.
Right. I even like to give myself rules like, um, no processed food if it's not at an actual meal, right? I'm not sitting down and so on Taco Tuesday, we will have we'll have some chips, right? So we'll have tortilla chips and get some guacamole or something like that.
Hmm.
But those are the things that are really easy to just grab, and then you
Yep.
grab tons of them, and it's like no, those are like that's not food,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, like
It's
protein bars and granola bars that are actually just candy bars that say protein on the package.
yeah, yeah, and start getting that protein. So, um, are you still hungry if you're like, I'm gonna have to eat a chicken breast, right? Or I'm gonna
Yep.
grab this steak. And the cool thing is that when you're eating those things, they're going to keep you full longer. They're going to be satiating. And but yeah, stick to those real things. There should not be ingredients. There shouldn't be things that that you have to put together to have it. Have that thing, and I think that it helps make those decisions a little bit better.
Yep. Yeah, and even taking the stuff that you're doing now and making it a little bit better. So Taco Tuesday is a great example. If you're making like taco salad once a week,
Hmm.
okay, could you, if you're putting like Catalina dressing on it, could you sub that out for your favorite salsa? If you're
Hmm.
using Doritos, could you sub that out for like plain tortilla chips?
Yeah.
Like you just start to shift it a little bit, and you start getting closer and closer uh, to like purely whole foods. And things start, you're eliminating the extra sugar and the extra flavorings and whatever just by making those little tweaks. Where you're still making the same meal, you're just adjusting it a little bit.
Right. Yeah, I feel like when it comes to food, as as bad as it sounds, you have to be. Um, I guess you don't have to be, but you you're going to be somewhat mundane often, right? I mean, so you if you're eating protein, you've got fish, right? You've got beef, you've got pork, you've got chicken for the most part, right?
Mm.
You when it comes to vegetables, if you go to the grocery store, you've got lettuce and you've got zucchinis and peppers and tomatoes and onions, green beans, cauliflower, broccoli, and then you got your fruits. And it's like, all right, apples, bananas, oranges. It's like there's not a ton of things.
Yeah.
And now there are a billion, but these are the normal things that are at the store that most people know what to do with,
Yeah.
right? So it's like pick those things, have those most of the time, and then when you have time, everyone's trying to crush this into time, and it's like you only have a few things, and then Sunday, on Saturday, when you want to make this big beautiful meal, make that big beautiful meal. But
Hmm.
I assure you that 90, I don't know, 9%, write that down, 99% of people who we are looking up to, who are have the health and fitness that we want, are eating those things most of the time.
Yeah.
And it allows you the space to have your cake or whatever on birthdays, on holidays, without having to worry about, did I overdose myself in sugar or just processed foods in general. And it's that important, um, it eating crap food, eating processed food, tons of sugar, it is causing long-term diseases. And if you want to be fit, it's like you should be eating um, different all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. And even, I wouldn't even say mundane. I think I've said this before that like all food is the same, whether it's Mexican or Italian or Chinese or whatever. It's all the same foods, just with
Hmm.
different seasonings.
Yeah.
And like you love processed food because it has a ton of salt, a ton of sugar, and a ton of processed fat. Okay, so uh, instead of eating those fake flavors that are tricking your brain into thinking these are amazing, you start to use real flavors like spices and seasonings,
Hmm.
and salt and fat. So like your oils and sour cream or whatever you want to use,
Yeah,
avocado.
butter. Yeah.
Right. Like if you start to think of it as salt and fat and sweet and then all of those like savory seasonings, you can make amazing flavors. And they don't even have to be amazing. You can make flavors that you enjoy.
Yeah.
I will make Mexican flavored everything every day. Cumin, chili powder, chipotle powder,
Yeah.
garlic powder,
And
and
some
I'm good to
salt.
go. Doesn't matter what it is.
The other day I made some green beans, and I don't even think I used olive oil. But so I cooked them up in a pan, and I put in some salt, and Natalie's like, "These are the best green beans I've ever had. What did you do to them?" And I'm like, "I put in salt." That is it. But yeah, like I'll tell you what, I think that there's a critical mass where when you're putting in flavors and like all this stuff, you do all these things, and most people are probably only going to taste a few things, right?
Yeah.
You might taste the salt, you might taste the chili powder, and you're like, oh, it tastes like this. And I think that I sort of assume because I have a bad palate that most people can't taste most things, you know. But like that's why somebody actually my son showed me a video. It was like it was the Dude Perfect guys, and they had a contest to see who could make the worst hamburger, right? And the one guy threw a bunch of crap on it. It was like gummy bears and Sour Patch Kids and chocolate syrup and like all this crap, right? And they actually were like, this is actually really good, I would buy that, right? Dude, all you tasted was sugar, right?
Yeah.
You probably stopped tasting the burger. You barely tasted the bun. You tasted this one thing. And it's the same thing when people start putting all these toppings on. Like I'm gonna put mayonnaise and I'm gonna put hot sauce and whatever. You only taste that thing. It doesn't matter if it was like your shoe, as long as it was tender enough and you had some mayonnaise and hot sauce on it, then you probably would have liked it anyways, right?
Yeah.
So it's like the texture, and then get the flavor that you like. And dude, I down hot sauce like nobody's business. I can't
Oh.
believe that my intestines still work. But I mean, I have no problems with it, and I love everything that I eat because I end up having hot sauce on it.
Right. Find what you like and
Yep,
just do that.
there you go. But all right, so we've got our pillars, right? So we've got sleep, we've got food, we've got water, we've got exercise. What order would you put these in?
I think as far as what would have the biggest impact for most people,
Mm-hmm.
I think sleep is number one. I think
Okay.
if you get your sleep down and nail it, the rest will be a lot easier to handle. Because when you are sleep deprived, you are craving sweets. You are like, you're not paying attention, right? You're just looking for coffee with delicious creamer. You are sluggish. You don't feel like exercising. But if you nail your sleep, everything else will start to fall into place. It's easier to make better decisions about all the other things.
Yeah. Yeah, and I go back and forth between like the food and the sleep, and and actually all of these, I don't think that you can uh, segregate them. Like
Right.
they're together. And here's the thing: you're not going to be perfect with all of them, and you're especially not going to be perfect with all of them at the same time, and that's
Yeah.
okay. So you just go, hey, these are the things that I need, and how can I do the best at these? And if you're killing one, keep doing it. Just like ride that sucker, right?
Yeah.
But then notice that, hey, I need to at least keep this one up. And it's like spinning plates, right? When this one starts to drop, give it a little bit of a tug and keep it going. But yeah, like you said, sleep can affect what you want to eat, right? And it can also, like you said, hey, now all of a sudden my insulin levels are high, my cortisol levels are high. I'm presenting as pre-diabetic. Now my food really freaking matters,
Yep.
right? And you know, if I'm eating crap food, I might not be sleeping as well, right? I might not have energy. I might be possibly sleeping more, but not sleeping as well. So
Yep.
they sort of go together. And actually, I was just reading about a study that they were doing with kids in who had a brain tumor, and they had found a connection with insulin levels and these brain tumors, and they found that when they were able to bring the insulin levels down, and you know, for our purposes, you know, when you're eating like lots of sugar and starches and things like that, your insulin levels are going to go up so that you can bring your blood sugar back down. They found that when they were able to bring these insulin levels down, that the kids actually started exercising more spontaneously, right? So now you go, oh, should I exercise more? It's like, what if I was eating better? Would I exercise more? Would I have the energy to start moving again, right?
Yep.
And so all these things are going to go together, and we can't look at them in a vacuum. And we have to look at them all as, hey, this is health, and which one can I do the best right now?
Yeah. Yeah, they're like the two sides of approaching it. The one is what's going to make the biggest impact right now. Um, and so you could go with that one and see a huge change, or which one is the easiest for me right now.
Mhm.
And so then, like, you can start building momentum and work toward the rest of them. So really, it depends on where you're at of what route you want to take. Do you want to make, you know, use the leverage, the highest leverage one right now, or do what's easiest right now? Either way is right.
There you go. We got exercise, water, sleep, and food. Find the one that you can work on right now and do that, but better.
Yeah.
Boom. All right. We will see you guys next week for Do That But Better, 12 o'clock every week on Tuesday, Taco Tuesday. Have a great rest of the day, Eric.
All right, you too. See ya.
All right.